Madam Joyce Mghoi,
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning to you. How are you?
I'm very fine.
How was your weekend?
Imekuwa salama zaidi.
Baridi nayo?
Leo ndo imetuamulia.
Imeamua.
Leo ndo imeamua kabisa.
Nikikuja kazi, niliangalia simu yangu huko juu ikaniambia it is 9 degrees Celsius.
9
degrees
in the
Celsius.
morning.
That is enough to freeze.
That is true. That is true.
Otherwise, wewe weekend imekuwa sawa madam?
Imekuwa sawa kabisa, nashukuru Mungu.
Have you ever been a boss?
I am a boss. Don't you think so?
Yeah, you are.
I started from there. I don't want to make conclusions. I'm just asking.
You know, even you are a boss somehow, in one way or another. You could be a boss in one area, not in another area.
Yeah.
I am a boss in my own right.
What is the definition of this term? A boss. Lazima nilipe watu mshahara.
A boss is someone who is superior to some people, not maybe to all of them. Like when I'm saying I am a boss in some rights, I am a boss because I may be having a house girl, I may be having shamba boys, maybe 2 or 3. What are they calling me?
Unaweza kohoa mtu.
Wananiita boss.
Unaweza kohoa mtu.
See, when I need a boss, because they are looking to me for direction. They are looking that I can be able to give them direction. I can be able to help them in their work and so on. So yes, I think all of us in some way we could be bosses in one way or another.
Washira, I'm your boss.
Mimi nilikuwa nafikiria boss ni yule tu kutafuta makosa. Alafu anakukemea na anakukata mshahara.
Ama anakupea resignation letter.
Ndio.
Anakuambia enda nyumbani ukuje next week.
You comment status kwa sababu mgombaya.
Kuna ile program inaitwa anti-boss.
Exactly.
What happens?
Exactly.
So, people can be bosses in one way or another. In one area, you are a boss. In another area, you are under somebody. There is a boss higher than you. So there are all those scenarios. You could be a boss to someone, but then you are also under someone whom you are also referring to as a boss.
Dear listener, we are talking about the relationship between a boss and their employees.
Yes.
Where are you listening from? We are just open for you, dear listener. 011450 is our SMS line. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as
Chuka University Radio pale.
We are so amazing. Touch of Grace pale YouTube. Madam Joyce Mghoi Facebook. Ingia pale kidogo sema na we are so open for you, dear listener.
Yes.
Tuchangie hii mada kwenye tamu tena zaidi. It is direct for you. Tuseme kitu. Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Yes.
How about the relation between our bosses and we as employees? Dear boss, if you are listening, si yako, sinifute kazi.
Yeah, we are not talking about him. We are not talking about him.
Exactly. Easy yako, sinifute kazi.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, there is a relationship between a boss and an employee. And the ideal situation, is that there should be respect between the two, between the boss and the employee. The boss should respect the employee.
Two-way traffic.
Yes, two-way. By the way, two-way traffic. Otherwise, it can be hell even for the boss. It can be hell even for the boss. So you respect your boss, and the boss also respects you, and their boundaries there. Then there is the cultivation of positivity. In either side, they should be positive towards the other person. Because if you are negative towards one side, then the relationship may not work. So there should be positivity there. Then both of them should be able to put themselves in the other person's shoe. The boss should put himself in the shoes of the employee, and the employee should put himself in the shoes of the boss. Either way. And when I'm using himself or herself, I don't mean one gender. It's a representative of both of them. So they should be able to put themselves in they should be able to think, why has the boss made this decision? And then the employee should be able to also think, why is the employee like this, or why is the employee going through this and that? Then you talked about a boss, and we are looking at this boss, and we are saying either side again, there should be objectivity. One who is objective. The boss should be objective even in decision making, and the employee should also be objective as they are addressing the boss. Then communication should be very clear. Communication should be very clear. You should know you're communicating to your boss, and the boss should know that they are communicating to an employee, and they are at the point of advantage. They are at the point of advantage. Then they should both conduct themselves with decorum, you know, so that at least they can be able to work together.
You've
Yes.
talked something about communication, which
Yes.
for me I think is the main challenge and problem in these organizations.
Yes.
We are saving organization, dear listener, this morning.
Mhm.
This issue of communication.
Mm.
What about this issue? How are we supposed to communicate? Should I go direct to my boss? Unajua kuna vitu zingine maybe nitatumia secretary
Uh-huh.
ama nitaenda direct.
Uh-huh.
How should I really make this communication?
Communication. Communication should be very clear because we have people that communicate in various ways. There is one who is a commander, you know, who
Yeah.
commands things
Yes.
and just wants things to be, you know,
Be
done
done.
in their way,
Yeah.
and they have no any other option. There are those ones that you know, they communicate, but they are a bit they are like empathizers. They are communicating. They know this one needs to be done, but they are empathizing in one way or another. There are those that are energizers in the sense of communication. There are those that are contemplators. But communication, for you to know that you have communicated, you must send a message, and the message must come back as a feedback.
Yeah.
You must receive feedback. So in the same way, if the boss communicates to you,
And
then
no
you need to
feedback?
send feedback to the boss. You cannot really keep quiet. If you keep quiet, that there is no communication there. There is no communication because maybe the boss expects you to do something and you haven't communicated that, yes, I'm going to handle it. So there is that communication. You must send a message and you must receive a feedback. Now, there is that you have said, how should I communicate? Do I go direct to the boss? Do I use, you know, secretary? Do I use whatever means? Now, it depends on organizations. Different organizations have different communication policies. They have different communication policies. But ideally, it is supposed to be from the employee to their next supervisor or to their immediate supervisor. So they communicate to their immediate supervisor, and then their immediate supervisor now can communicate to the boss if the structure is made like that. So communication depends on the structure of that particular organization. Whoever you are under, you communicate to them. Whoever you are under, you communicate to them. And the boss also, if the boss wants to communicate, maybe even to the lowest level of employee, the boss should use the channel. Should use the channel from him maybe to the immediate boss, the one who reports to him. Then the immediate boss will communicate to those that are under them. Ideally, that is how the communication is supposed to be. Because if that's somebody who is probably not directly reporting to the boss goes to report to the boss, it looks like bypassing. You are bypassing your immediate supervisor. So communication depends on the structure of the organization, and it should actually be followed. It should be followed.
You know, should bosses or any supervisor, Madam Joyce, be
Yes.
worried when you put across communication to your juniors
Yes.
and they don't respond?
Should a boss be?
Is that
Should a boss be
worried,
concerned?
concerned?
Okay.
Mimi nimetuma ujumbe
As a boss.
as a boss.
Yes.
Guys, nini,
Yes.
with immediate effect. Wewe kila communication una make ni with immediate effect.
Now, if they don't get back to you and say, okay, we have heard, we are going to do it, you will watch whether they will do. If they do, without necessarily telling you we have done or we are doing, that is still communication. Because sometimes, again, every time, you know, calling your boss or every time knocking at their door can be a bother. It can be a bother. So once communication comes, you do what you are expected to do. Actually, if they tell you to act, then act. And then when they see you acting, they know that you have obeyed and you have been able to do what they expected you to do. So communication actually is getting the feedback in terms of whatever it is that you wanted done. Has it been done?
They may do it.
Yes.
But kuna hii issue hawakukuongelesha, walifanya tu kwa sababu ya mshahara. Washira, kulinda mshahara
Na kulinda kazi.
Exactly. So sometimes ni ile uoga when a boss is too bossy, Madam Joyce.
Okay, you know, we have different types of bosses, by the way. Thank you even for bringing that up. We have different types of bosses. The first boss we have is a chief. You know,
si yule wa mtaa.
Nothing you do affects them. This one is a chief. He goes straight to the point. And whatever you do, that's your own problem. Me, I've communicated, and this is what I expect to do. Then we have a friend boss.
Yeah.
A friend boss is one who is social,
Yeah.
interacts, can say hi along the corridor, can even crack a joke here, leaves you laughing, and so on. That is a friend boss who is a bit professional and also personal in a way. Then we have a caveman boss. A caveman boss is traditional. A caveman boss is traditional.
Cave, we
And
call it cave.
Yeah.
Wow.
He plays by the rules.
Yeah.
Plays by the rules. He can nod, but he doesn't really want many changes. He doesn't want changes. A caveman boss is traditional. The way things used to be done long time ago is the way that they will be done. There are no changes that have ever taken place, for years. This is how it has to be done. And these were the ones that probably sometimes even reject technology, reject the effect of social media and all that. Then we have caveman boss. Then we have the robot. The robot is the one who seems to, stay silent, stay back, but he seems to stare at you to see what you are doing. It's like he's studying you.
Hence
You
the
know,
term
have you
robot.
ever looked at some people?
Huko.
Yeah.
They hawakuambii kitu lakini
Wanakutazama.
wanakuangalia tu.
Washira
Hata
wacha
even
mchezo.
what you're doing, they will just follow you
Yeah.
with their eyes. They will check what you're doing. They don't communicate whether what you're doing is okay or it's not okay. They are just there. They're just like a robot. They are present and yet they are not, present, because they are not giving any feedback. They are staring at you, watching you, what you are doing. So you feel observed, and then you feel like, am I really on the right track or not? That's one. Then we have one called the Scrooge. The Scrooge is the one who owns the company. The company belongs to him, whether he is employed or not, whether the company actually belongs to him. He loves power.
Yeah.
The Scrooge loves power. He can create fear. He likes compliment. You must compliment. You must praise them.
Wow.
You must, these are the ones that love power.
Yes.
And they walk around the organization like they own it.
Yeah.
Even if they are employed, they will walk like they own it. They will walk around like they own it. Even when you enter their office, you can see the aura of ownership, the aura of ownership, the aura of power, the aura of amazement. That is, they want to be praised, they want to be complimented, and they really feel like they own the whole organization, even though they may be employees just like you. Then we have the workaholic. The workaholic, they don't leave the office.
They are there.
They don't leave the office.
Yeah.
They work and work and work. And unfortunately, these ones also expect you to work the same.
Like them.
Which is very dangerous. Which is very dangerous. So they expect you to work like them. They are workaholics. All their time they are working. But unfortunately, they also expect the employees somehow to be like them. Then we have the scarecrow. The scarecrow. The scarecrow is the boss. Is someone who is a boss but has no skills.
Huko tu. Na huyu lazima kuwe rafiki yao.
Amekuwa promoted lakini hana nini? Hana skills.
You call them?
The scarecrows. They don't have skills. They are not qualified. They need to know why you are doing something, but they may not want to know how you are doing it. They need to know, why are you doing this? But they wouldn't want to know how you're doing it, because they are not interested in that line. They are not qualified. These ones are not qualified. They have no knowledge. They have no what, but they are just there.
Is there a need of them being bosses, madam? Now there's a question maybe we can be
people
asking.
appointed bosses for different reasons.
Yeah.
So whoever put them there
God
felt that they need to be there. Then we have the hide and seek boss. The hide and seek boss, you never see them. They are always
But
out
they are
of
bosses.
the office.
Unaona tu koti kwa kiti pale kwa ofisi.
Na hiyo koti ni ya
They are
black.
always-
Monday to Thursday. Haijatoka huko.
Na
They are
gazeti.
always out of the office.
Yeah.
They are never there. You don't really meet them person to person.
Yeah.
Unasikia alikuwa hapa, yuko sasa, and they communicate through emails. They communicate through, that
WhatsApp.
channel of communication is not verbal, but they are never there.
Kama huko
Hide and seek.
WhatsApp.
They are never there.
Haupati
Even when you
message.
go and you find them and you want to talk to them, they tell you come later. Right now I don't have a time. They don't want engagement. They don't like engagement. And then the last one is the people boss.
Wow.
the people
This
boss.
must be the
He would
goal.
want to help you grow.
Wow.
Would want to
Is that
see
me?
you succeed.
Eh.
Would want to see you succeed
Yes.
in your area.
Yes.
So those are some of the bosses that we have.
Wow.
People boss.
Dear
The
listener,
people boss, yes.
by any chance you've been a boss?
Yeah.
By any chance you've interacted
Yeah,
with
you
bosses?
can weigh yourself.
Weigh yourself.
Weigh yourself.
Where are you? Are you scarecrow?
Are you cave?
Are you
You're a
cave?
caveman.
Hide and seek.
Who
You are
are-
hide and seek
Who
boss.
are you? Gauge yourself, dear listener. And we are just open for
Yes,
you. Today we
yes,
are having a very,
yes.
very good conversation.
Mm.
If you are there, 0114506611. Pia social media platforms
Chuka University Ready pale Facebook, Twitter na Instagram. Vile vile ni Touch of Grace pale YouTube.
Touch
imefunguliwa.
of Grace KE.
Okay,
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Eh.
KE. Na kuna
Yes.
bell pale.
You subscribe,
Subscribe.
comment.
Unakafinya
Lakini
hapo.
ya leo ni moto sana, don't miss. And of course by any chance utakuwa umemiss, itakuwa extended pale YouTube. Hakikisha kuwa unaguza zaidi tena zaidi. Tutakuwa tunarudi tena kidogo, tunazama ngoma moja kidogo to brainstorm. We are coming back kuambia why are bossy two bosses that you can even not approach them. Ukimapproach unajiplan ku resign your kazi.
Ndio.
Mambo namna gani? Stay tuned, we are coming up.
Na tumemuuliza maswali pale, tukamuuliza maswali kuhusu type of bosses pale. Akaweza kuuzia vile vile kuna wale cave. Tumezungumzia vile vile
Hiyo ndio
kuhusu
imefurahisha
scarecrow.
zaidi.
Hiyo imenibaba kabisa.
Are you a
Kuna-
caveman?
Mimi aliyenifurahisha ni hide and seek.
Eh,
Na hide and seek sasa ni wale ambao tumewapea kazi miaka
na
mitano.
scarecrow.
Scarecrow, exactly. You are just there.
Naam.
Mambo ni mengi. Tumeongea bahati.
Ndio.
Boss wamemkataa.
Ndio, watu.
And now could we possibly ni hatujui kuongea ama ni nini? So how should we be speaking to our
Honestly,
bosses?
honestly. Okay, when speaking to your boss, number one, you have to watch out for your ego.
Wewe kama employee,
Wewe kama employee,
punguza kiburi bro.
watch out for your ego.
Mhm.
Don't ask your boss why. You know,
Mhm.
why have you
Yeah.
done this? Why
Mbona
have you
mimi?
done?
So
the
madam,
other,
our
you know, why
bosses
have
are
you
always
done?
right.
He may not be always right,
Yeah.
but you cannot really show them your ego
Yeah.
or your pride.
Yeah.
That will not go well. It will
Bro,
not go well.
hautalipua.
Umekuja siku mbili unajifanya mwenye kampuni.
Yes.
Then another thing is that you cannot lose your temper on your boss.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do,
Yeah.
but it's not very safe.
Yeah.
It's not very safe
Mhm.
unless you have option B. Unless you have option B.
Eh,
You
Uko na
can-
uko na kazi nyingine unatafuta jina
Although
bado.
sometimes the employees are pushed to the corner until they have to show their temper, but it's normally not a very good thing to do unless you have another option. Then be honest, you know. Be honest, watch out that you are speaking honestly and the information that you are giving is honest information.
Wache tu
Sometimes
wapo
we
tu hivi.
sometimes we have employees that go to bosses with gossip, and that's very, very unfortunate.
So
And it happens more often than not that people just give information to the boss that is not verified. You know, you are never called by the boss to be asked, you know, so and so told me you've done this and this. Can you
Yeah.
explain yourself? No, the boss just blacklists you from her mind or his mind,
Yes.
and they just look at you as a bad person, and yet it is a gossip. So when you're communicating to the employer, be honest. Then don't make threats to the boss. You know, don't say
Wazee wote anakupea unga.
Usiponipea kazi wewe.
don't say things like there are many companies that are looking for me, you
Yeah.
know, or if you don't do this, I will do this. You know, you cannot really make threats to your boss. You cannot. Then don't have territorial feeling. Don't feel like you have entitlement. There is you have no entitlement. By the you have no entitlement at all. Don't feel territorial.
Yeah.
Don't feel territorial. There are those things that are entitled to an employee, and
Yes.
they are okay, they are clear, they are stated, they are written down, and those ones are just okay. But don't every time feel like when you are before the boss that there are things that you are entitled to. Then don't give the boss unconstructive criticism
Yeah.
or criticism that has no solution. Do you know we have people that will come and criticize how you're doing your work? Then when you ask them, how do you think I should do it? They have no idea. That is unconstructive criticism.
Exactly.
If you're offering a solution on something that is happening, offer a solution.
Yeah.
But don't offer unconstructive criticism. And constructive criticism will look like you're attacking your boss.
Yes.
They will look like you're attacking your boss. So really, that is how you can be able to communicate to your
But
boss.
how can we
Madam Joyce.
exactly do it before Washira chips in, Madam?
Yes.
How can we exactly do it without them feeling like you are attacking them? Criticism umeweka pale tufanye
That's
aje?
why I'm saying, when you're doing criticism, you must have a solution. So you must say that I am seeing that we are doing it this way. Is it possible if we did it this way, it would be better? You are offering a solution to something that is happening.
Wow.
But negative criticism is just criticizing someone, and when you ask, how else can
You
I do
can't.
it? You cannot give a solution. How can I do it? How else can I do it better? You cannot give a solution. But you are criticizing. You're not doing it well. You're not doing it well. When you ask, how else can we do it? You don't
can't.
know. That is negative criticism.
Take note, dear listeners, James Washira chips in.
Anaitwa Hilary Kido amewasalimia sana.
Yes.
Anauliza, are there toxic bosses?
Yes, they are toxic bosses. And I mean, when it reaches here, then you know probably you need to be looking elsewhere. One of them is micromanagement, that the boss gives you work but does it himself. Have you ever heard of such a situation?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Micromanaging, that they micromanage you, they give you a job, but as you are continuing to do it, they come and
Ashamaliza.
do it.
He's our colleague now.
Then overly critical.
Yeah.
It's also a toxic boss who is overly critical, criticizing constantly every now and then.
You
There is
don't have
nothing that you
positive.
do that is good enough.
Yeah.
Everything that you
It's
do
negative.
is negative.
Come
It's
on,
rubbish.
bosses.
You're
Come
not
on,
thinking.
bosses.
You're not using your brain.
Come
You're not
on,
what?
come
How can
on.
you do this? How can you do that? Overly criticizing you. That is really toxic. Then undermines you in front of others, and probably those others are even lower than you. Like someone just comes and undermines you. If you're a teacher, they're undermining you in front of the students.
When
Or
class teacher,
when
when
class
jamaa
teacher,
class register,
I mean,
student wakiangalia,
yes,
so
students
bad.
wakiangalia, undermining, they undermine you. That is really a toxic boss. Does not acknowledge anything that you do. Does not acknowledge anything that you do, and he may be taking credit for the good things that you have done. The good things that you have done,
Yeah.
ni yeye amefanya, lakini Chacha anacheka.
Hapo ndo nasema
Inaonekana
toxic.
Chacha kuna mtu aidha amefanyia hivyo ama amefanyiwa hivyo. Then there is a boss that creates obstacles. He gives you a job, but he creates so many obstacles that you are not able to do it. Like probably you are given a job here to be newscasters, but then there are so many obstacles. You are trying to do it, but haiendi, manake
Oh my.
kuna vikwazo vingi
Vingi kabisa.
umewekewa. Then speaks poorly about people. The boss that drags people down, that speaks negatively
That
about
is
people,
employees.
speaks poorly about employees. That's a toxic, boss. Then we have unethical bosses. Unethical bosses is the one who will come and tell you to do something which he knows it is not allowed to be done, or it is against the law. That one is a toxic boss, because he will throw you under the bus. The boss will throw you under the bus, yes, because he's telling you to do things that are not right, or they are not ethical, or they are against the law. Then we have bosses that are discriminative. Either discriminative in terms of gender. Unaona anataka tu kufanya kazi na wanawake, ama anataka kufanya kazi na wanaume.
Come on,
that
boys.
That is discriminative in
Yes.
terms of gender bias. Then we have also tribalistic bosses. That's really
From top
toxic.
to bottom.
Yeah.
They are just
Ni chacha mpaka
tribalistic.
chini.
If they want to give an appointment, if they want to promote, if they want to, you can see they're just promoting a certain people, a certain group of people. Then we have bosses that have favorism. They favor some employees. They just favor some employees. And then we have the non-accountable. They are always not accountable. I mean, the company is going on fire. They are not the ones.
Yeah.
Everything is going wrong. Sio
Yeah.
mimi. They are not accountable in any way. They cannot own the company in its success and in its failures. They can't own the company. They can't own the organization. They are just basically non-accountable. They are not accountable. Hata unashindwa utauliza nani swali, maana boss ashaoga mikono. Ameshaoga mkono na hayuko hapo, si yeye alifanya, So he's not in charge. He's not in charge, and if things are going wrong, he assumes he's not the one who is responsible for them.
Mambo mazuri ni yeye,
Right.
mabaya si
He is
yeye.
not accountable kwa
Mabaya
mambo
si
mabaya.
yeye.
Ndio.
So yes, sometimes you can be in an organization and you feel you are not growing
Yes.
because of some of these challenges. Maybe your bosses just show that they are toxic in one way or another.
When should we leave when it gets so toxic, especially in workplaces?
You know, everybody has their own resilience. And it depends how resilient you are. There are some people who are very resilient and patient.
Like me.
There are others that are not resilient and they are not patient.
Yeah.
There are some people who get bothered and worked out when things are not working in an organization. There are some people who will just watch them, you know, go wrong and watch them. I mean, and say, okay, when at some point maybe things will be okay. But there are some people cannot be able to stand. So nobody can tell you it is time for you to leave. You leaving depends on how resilient you are, and how patient you are.
Wow.
How
Yes.
close.
Wow.
How
Wow.
close.
Wow.
It's too
Madam,
close.
these people are streaming in. But now,
Yes.
some people
Na
joke a lot. but-
hatuongelelei boss yoyote. I
Exactly.
hope you know.
Hata mimi kuna ujumbe nimepata hapa sijui ni usome
Yeah,
ama ni-
Anasema alifutwa kazi na
Please.
boss
Ndio.
kwa sababu boss alimpata akiapply kazi nyingine na kompyuta ya
Computer kazini.
kompyuta kazini.
Akapata
Boss
sack.
alikuwa so that kind of a boss mwenye
Akapata
yeye hapo tu
sack.
hakuongereshi but
Eh.
anatembea
No.
akiangalia vitu unafanya.
That is not a people boss. Now, the people boss encourages growth. That's what we have said. A people boss encourages growth. If the job you are applying for is better than what you are doing here, the boss will not have a problem. If anything, they will encourage you.
In fact, yeye
to do
anasema
that.
akati alimpata alimsaidia kuapply. And luckily the kazi alikuwa ana apply, boss wanajuana na boss wa huyo kazi. So alimconnect.
Alimconnect.
You know those kind of
Those
bosses.
are,
all the time.
now we have those kinds of bosses.
Exactly.
Those are the people bosses
Yes.
that they don't feel bad when you excel in whatever you are doing. Actually, they can help you.
Wow.
When even they get adverts or job vacancies from other organizations, they will even tell you there are these jobs. Some of you can apply if you are interested, because an organization has its own policies, has its own areas of work, has its own salaries, and these are not decided one day. They don't wake up one day and say this is the salary. It's something which is structured. So if you're going somewhere else where you're going to get better salary, they really should not be able to stop you. Or if you're going to get more experience, because sometimes you move from one organization to another for experience sake, so that when you go to that organization, you carry your experience, you get experience from there. If you come back again, you can help the organization. There are different reasons why people leave. But some bosses, if they know you want to leave, they will make you leave without you being
Exactly.
ready to leave.
So
And
bad.
there are others that will support you and help you.
As
and
an
encourage you.
employee and boss, how should we be too close? And that's why I'm asking.
How close
is
is too close?
Yeah.
How close is too close? I want to say that bosses are human beings, just like everyone else, and they need friends. They need people around them. In fact, bosses are some of the bosses actually are very, very lonely. They are very lonely because the higher you go, the
cooler. Because you don't have any person
Tough
you
fighting
you
gun.
share.
the higher you go, the fewer people,
Oh.
the fewer friends you will have as you
Oh.
go up. So bosses can be very, very lonely, and really loneliness, we know it's not very, very good. So bosses also need friends. For how close should you be to a boss? It depends on how that boss got there. Sometimes bosses rise from the same organization, and they keep rising until they become bosses. So you'll find someone who has risen from that organization already formed friends when he was working like everybody else. Then he continued to raise. They continued to be friends, and when he's up there, he continued to maintain his own friends. So that you can find that these people that are friends to the boss may still be friends to the boss. They may still be friends. But then we have bosses that have been moved from one organization to another to become bosses there. Then you find these ones may not have very close friends. Now, some people, when they are promoted to the status of being a boss, they cut off friendship. They cut off friendship for very many reasons. One of the reasons could be if you are a friend to an employee and you have been friends for very long, you may lack, you may not really be objective when you are making decisions concerning that particular employee.
Yes.
Because these people have been your friends. So there is loss of objectivity, there is favorism, which we have looked at, there is a loss of confidentiality. Because this is your friend, you may reveal some company information which really needs to wait, really needs to wait. It should not be revealed at that particular time. And then there is also sometimes loss of respect, because mumejuana sana. Familiarity is too much. Familiarity is too much. But then we have advantages, because if you are a boss and you have friends, you have companionship, you have people that are friends to you, you have less stress, you have less loneliness, you have joy, you have happiness, and you really may be a good boss, especially if you have people that are your friends and they are genuine in their friendship, that they can tell you honest feedback. They can even tell you, hapa boss, I think uligoof, hapa hukufanya vizuri, hapa ungefanya hivi na hivi. You know, they are giving you genuine feedback. They're giving you genuine feedback. As we finish, Chacha, it's okay to be close to a boss, but if you are, keep respect. And whatever you know about the boss, personal issues, please don't reveal them to other employees. And the boss also should not reveal what you've probably shared with him to other employees. That respect should be there.
Chezea mshahara, usichezee kazi.
There are 3 mistakes that you should never make in your workplace. And I saw this in TikTok. Just allow me to say it and to read it. 1 minute. There's someone in TikTok said 3 mistakes you should never make in your workplace. This is for you to judge. Never think your colleagues are friends. They are not. They are just doing a job. When push comes to shove, they will save their skin and push you under the bus. That's 1. Number 2, you should never reveal your personal life to your colleagues. Don't tell them your plans, your investment, or your next big move. Only a fool reveals secrets. Number 3, when you disagree with a company policy, never share it with any of your colleagues. Keep it to yourself. Anything you share with your colleagues can be used against you.
Ushasikiza. Sijui kama kuna kitu kingine. Madam Joyce Mghoi, asante sana. Hata mimi sitakuwa naambia washiriki.
Mimi nimeona muda leo bana.
Unaweza muda umeamua, but the conversation is so good. How I wish tungeongea sana.
That's okay.
Kwa sababu kuna hata ile maswali unajua kuna wale bosses ambao wanatakanga love relationship na wale watu ambao wanafanya kazi.
By the way, we haven't looked at that. Maybe next time.
So ongelea sana, but Madam Joyce, in 1 minute you can touch it. In 1 minute. Relationship. Mimi ni bosi lakini kuna vile. Mimi ni employee lakini kuna vile. Just 1 minute, Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Bosses should be human beings. So they should treat their employees the way they would like to be treated. I think that's what I can say. They treat their employees the way they would like to be treated. They should just be human beings.
Na akikuja hata boss ni mtu.
Hata boss ni mtu by the way.
Kwani shida washire iko wapi? Boss pia ni mtu. Asante sana Madam Joyce. Let's meet next Tuesday. It's going to be so amazing.